Okay, without further ado, let's please welcome Theresa Rose.
Thank you, dear. She is a dear. She's aptly named. So, welcome everyone on this beautiful June day. If you have not been here before, I just want to share with you what we do at the very beginning of my service, which is I like to energize the altar as a group altar. And let me just kind of explain that to you for those of you that have never been here before. And for those of you that haven't never really understood it, just got swept up in the moment, I'll tell you about it now. We all want to have spirit in our lives as much as we possibly can. We actually do have spirit in our lives all the time, 100% of the time. There's not a moment that we don't. But the issue is about forgetting. That's the core issue, is we forget. So what I like to do as the spiritual director of Lake Harriet Spiritual Community is to not only provide hopefully inspirational, motivational, engaging, energizing program for you from 10:30 to 11:30, but I want to give you some tools that you can do it on Tuesday at 7:30 p.m. when you're crazy and you're opening the box of wine. Okay? That's when I want you to remember some of the things that we talk about here today. Because the truth of the matter is that the more that we can put spirit into our lives on a daily basis, on an hourly basis, on a second-by-second basis, the happier we will be. The more productive we will be, the more giving and serving we will be. So this is an altar that sort of one of my traveling altars. And I have a sacred object that I have that has just precious, precious things in here. And I put it down here on this altar. And so when we work with this messaging and this energy and this connection and integration with the divine, I'm infusing my medicine pouch that has sacred items in it that already has just got chock-a-block juju. You know, I'm infusing that even more so that when I am in those places where I'm like, ah, and I completely and utterly forget that I am spirit, that I am divine, that helps me to remember this moment when I remembered. Does that make sense? And so I like to open up this altar for our community, for our Lake Harriet Spiritual Community. For you to have any sacred object. We've seen lipstick up here, we've seen earrings. You know, if you're not careful, I will make them my own sacred objects. So whatever it is that you might be working with, I invite you now as I'm going to open up the 7 directions. The 7 directions that we all work with every single moment of every single day. We just might not know about it. I will open it up as you put your sacred altar or sacred object on the altar, if you choose to. Okay? So here we go. Welcome, everybody. Come on back to me. Whew. Up north, yeah! Woo! Be afraid. Be very, very afraid. Do not run away from the feeling of fear. What I'm working on in my life is the same stuff that you're working on in yours. And I wear white, and by the way, Spirit told me today that I can wear white and purple. I don't just have to wear white, which I was very pleased to hear. We're working on the same things. We have different characters and different stories and different names and different jobs and different blah, 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 all the detail of our soap opera. We all have different details, but we all have the same thing that's going on. And for my whole life, I had an unhealthy and incorrect relationship with fear. And this might sound familiar to some of you too. It essentially, for much of my life, and moments now still, it's like a collar around my neck. It's like a collar around my neck that I control. And I have let fear, or the absence of fear, be a driving force for me. And as I started down my process of healing, enlightenment, experiential knowledge, as as I went down that path, I started to realize, wow, I have been dogged by fear my whole life. I was afraid of the response from the bully. I was afraid of being shunned by those 6th grade girls. I was afraid of someone not being there when I wanted them to be there. There was all these feelings of fear that came into my world and colored the choices that I made, just like it's colored the choices you've made. But when I got on my path, like you all are on your path in a various way, I realized how fear was a demon, and it is something that we shun. We'll do anything in our power to shun fear, to run away from fear, to go, no, 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 no. Don't we do that? Well, then I started down my path, and I was like, fear, schmear, who needs it? Oh! You know, and I thought if I'd go into a sweat lodge that was hot enough, and I prayed hard enough, I could get rid of that fear. And I was all about burning it away in a variety of ways. And long ago, I bought a bracelet that I still have today that's like a leather-bound black bracelet that's got silver on it that's carved fearless. And I'm scared witless to fly. I don't like to fly at all. For real, like, this is not, no, it really is not pretty. And so if there's anybody next to me on an airplane, anything crazy starts to happen, you know, like the boom, boom, I will immediately, like, grab the person. I've started conversations when they've already said, you know, we're expecting some rough air. Oh, hi, my name is Theresa. How are you? Where are you from? I don't really want to talk to you at all. I just had kind of an anxiety attack. So if you'd like to experience like this, that's cool. But if you don't, then you'll start talking to me. So I have this fearless bracelet, and I'd wear it every time I flew. So I'd look at it, and I'd remember. Remember the wilderness! Remember all the things you've done! And my daughter, when she was in 1st grade, was in Montessori school in Florida, and on Thanksgiving, her 1st grade year, they gave out a little thing to all the kids about what they were grateful for each kid. And, which was precious. I loved it. And it would say, we are grateful for Adam and his technological abilities with the computer. We are grateful for Bonnie for her bubbly smile. We are grateful to Charlie for his intuitive ways, whatever it was. We are grateful to Emma for her fearlessness. Yeah! As soon as I saw that, I swear to you, in the parking lot of the Montessori school, I'm going, that's my kid! My kid! Fearless! And I made such a big deal about it. And I said, Emma, you don't understand. Of all this list of things, of all the people that they did, and every other adjective I could ever possibly think of, that is the one that I would give to you the most that would make me just go, yes! And I meant it. Because I was so against fear. I knew what fear did to people. But lately, I'm realizing that I made a mistake. I am just like you, trying to figure out how to do this. Life. How to be happier, how to be healthier, how to be more balanced, how to be more abundant, how to be more. And what I'm starting to learn is that all those machinations that I did, now by the way, that whole fearlessness thing was good and real and true, and it made me go into some gunk that I never in a bazillion years would have done had I not had that badass attitude. So I'm really glad that I had that. But now where I'm starting to go more, where I can start to feel the real changes happening in my life, is when I recognize it and smell it and have it on me, my fear. Because everyone who has done anything great ever has felt fear. They don't do the amazing things in the absence of fear. They do the amazing things in the full presence of the fear. So we are in this amazing place where Spirit is starting to send stuff our way. Tests, if you will. And I saw a quote on the best resource ever, Facebook. I love them. Honest to God, I can have a spiritual experience looking at my posts, my wall posts. Suddenly it's like, oh my God, that's so true, that's exactly right. But this one, I did this. This is exactly right. Sometimes when you wonder why you can't hear God's voice during your trials, remember the teacher is always quiet during the test. The teacher is always quiet during the test. Wants to see how you're doing. How are you doing this? You have had a whole lifetime of information given to you. What I'm telling you today, is not new. You've heard it 1,000 billion times. But it's about how are you adopting it? How are you putting it into place? It's the test. So here's a little snapshot of how I'm actually learning this lesson. A couple of months ago, I'm a motivational speaker. I do this for a living. Stretch the limits of your imagination to see that. But I'm really more of a salesperson. That's what I do. There's another professional speaker in the room, and she can attest that we are salespeople whose primary service happens to be professional speaking. So we sell our services to get people to buy them. And a couple of months ago, I had some business coaching because I want to make more money. I need to make more money. And is that, anybody feeling that? Just even a titch that they'd like to make more money? Just a skosh? Okay. So this might feel familiar to you. So I get coaching from this brainiac guy who has done amazing stuff in businesses. He's a business coach that's hardcore. And he sat with me a couple of months ago and he said, Theresa, who do you want to speak to? Well, I just want to, Finally, we get to a point where he says, have you thought about speaking to direct sales? And direct sales, to let some of you know who may not know what that is, that's the industry that people do home parties. And my mom was a direct sales professional for 30 years. She started when I was 5 years old and went for 30 years until her passing in 2006. I know direct sales. I live direct sales. My life has been it. But I've never done it as a speaker. I've never gone there. I've gone to other organizations instead, women organizations, women in leadership. And he said, have you thought about doing direct sales? And it was like, are you kidding me? Could I do that? Could I have that? Could I really have where I really want to speak, like I'd love to speak? To have a room full of, 500 Kayleen's, my mom, touch them like she touched people 30 years ago. Oh my God! And that day, 4 months ago, I just could feel it. You know how when you want something so bad, you can feel it? You can feel it in your nether regions. You're starting to go like, yes, I want that. It's not just something in your head, right? I mean, it could be a pair of shoes. Look at that segue. It could be a pair of shoes that you buy at DSW when your husband is feeling guilty about the shoes that he bought. You feel it in your nether regions, how much you want it? Well, when I thought about direct sales, I thought, that's what I really, really, really want to do. That was in February. Now that's what Abraham would call a rocket of desire, when you can feel it. Going off into the universe. That's all I felt. That's all I did to create that, by the way. That part of my career was just, want it! Bad. No phone calls, nothing, didn't do anything. Just felt it, felt the joy, felt the power of what I wanted to do. A couple months later, I got an inbound request, which is completely and utterly unheard of as a new speaker, okay? It's like manna from heaven. You're just, what? You're calling me? Ah! It was one of the top direct sales firms in the country inquiring as to my services. I didn't do anything to get that. Y'all see, I didn't do anything to get that, but it came. First feeling, abject fear. Oh my God, I don't have anything, and now they're calling, oh my God. She starts talking to me, this woman, very, very polite, very professional, and says, tell me about your offering that you do for direct sales. Well, I speak to women in leadership, women organizations, women entrepreneurs. I speak to women, so I'm thinking, I don't really have anything, but here's the deal. I can feel that this is like the most amazing thing in my heart, my spirit, and my soul. I don't know anything about what I'm doing. I have no title. I don't have any material at all. But I swear to God, if you give me a chance, it's going to be the best thing you've ever heard. I said that on the phone. I said that on the phone. And this woman who started out as sort of, this professional, she was like, oh my God, yes. Honey, listen, if I could find a way to get you in front of a group of people, just for free, you couldn't charge anything for it, but just try it out, try the material. What do you think? Would you like to do that? Oh, yes. Phone hug. Yeah! We book it like a month. Then I get off the phone, and the fear starts to just completely overwhelm me. What are you going to do? You can't do this. You can't make this work. You don't know anything about this. And the fear was going to shut me down. The fear was going to shut me down. But that's when I knew something that I had recently relearned, which is fear is the border of the reality that we know. Fear is the border of the reality that we know. And so as I was freaking out about doing this direct sales thing, going, oh, what am I going to do? I can't do it. I don't know what I'm doing. And then actually thinking to myself, maybe I should put it off. Maybe I should just say I'm not ready. What? That's how strong fear will be. It will squash your dream before it even got started because of your fear. That's what happens. But I said, no, I'm going to just keep doing this. I'm going to keep walking in this space, and I'm just going to remember that fear is the border of the reality that I know. Fear is the border of the reality that I know. I'm going to keep doing this and be scared witless about it. It is on August 11th. Trust me, I'm not up here going like, and I fixed it. No, I didn't. I'm fully in it right now. Okay? I'm like burping fear bubbles all the time. But I'm doing it. And so here's what happened, just as a fun little factoid, is when you stay in that alignment with spirit, like I was in my car right before I did this freebie of a lifetime. Could change my whole career. And I have all these cards and pieces of paper and notes and trying to practice stuff, because you all know that this is, I'm a winger. You know this. So I'm trying to not wing and going, oh dear God, I don't know it, I don't know it! And I just thought, okay, I'm in the car. When all else fails, when you are totally at the wit's end, when you cannot figure it out, when you are so done and so out of your element, Donnie, you can't possibly figure out your way out, remember who you really are. You are more than you. You are spirit. And I just got back, and here I am in my Tiguan in a Maple Grove Community Center parking lot on a Wednesday night at 6:02. I am more than my body. I am more than my mind. I am more than my emotions. And that higher soul, that higher part of me, who's orchestrated this whole thing amazingly, that higher part of me is so right here. You just step into it. You could just get up there and go blah, 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 blah. But if you felt it through your heart, you know they'd love you. So I just got into that groove of spirit and said, let's do this thing. Let's do this thing. And I got through the fear. I did it in the presence of the fear, not the absence of it. So let's look at your lives. Let's look at what you're doing. What do you want? Because here's the thing. You know what the opposite of the fear is numbness. And trust me, this is, I wish we could just flip it on and be done. But we go back and forth and back and forth. I numbed out last night with Jason Bourne and Malbec. Okay? It happens. We check out. But that numbness can turn into a couple hours, which can turn into a day, and then a weekend, and then a week, and then a month, and a year, and a decade, and a lifetime that you've numbed out because you don't want to go into the fear. Because you've been taught. You've been taught that fear is bad. Fear is not bad. Fear is the border of the reality that you know. When you want to move out of the place where it's uncomfortable and you want to move into the place where it's huge and magnificent and beautiful and thriving and flourishing and abundant and good and joyful and healthy and magnificent, when you want to live there, you will have that relationship with fear where you go, yes, come on, let's go, let's do this thing. Yes. Walk through life like that. You want a partner? You've been living on your own too long, you want somebody to cuddle with? And you're out, and you see hottie hot stuff over there, who's got a super cute smile and a funny laugh, and you see his light. You know what I mean? You can see light. You can see when a guy is good for you and a guy is bad for you, or a woman is good for you and a woman is bad for you. You know it. Your heart, your soul, your essence, your intuition knows darn well who's good for you and who's not good for you. It's your head that screws you up. Oh no, he's really not going to be that bad. Don't listen to any of your friends. Right? But if you see that hottie hot stuff over here, sorry, I'm going to go there. The perks of being a spiritual director. I might just sit on your lap later. Is when you see somebody like that, look at him, he's delightful, he's absolutely adorable. And you can go up and go, and maybe, did you see my hooping at all? Were you here during my hooping?
Yes.
Okay, so how much did you love it?
I loved it.
You see how I framed that question? How much? I didn't go, did you like it? Did you like it? Because I know he liked it, let's be honest. It's hooping, for goodness sake. But I could go up to him and risk the fear of having him say, you know what, you are just a magnificent man. I just want to say that you're handsome and you're adorable and your light is just shining and you're just awesome. Can we go sit over by the potluck and have a little potato salad together?
You're going to have to ask her first.
So then that becomes a whole other discussion. But that's the choice that I could make and the risk that I could take, right? I could make that risk. Or, hey, you never know. We'll talk later. We make choices. But you know how many people that they have that thing, they know somebody's out there? It could be just a friend too. Oh my God, I met one of the most delightful women ever at a trade show, right across the booth from the LHSC booth. Kristen Brown, she's one of my friends. And she and I looked at each other for 2 days. You know, booth duty at an expo is hell. And you pretty much make relations with the people that you're around. And I just was like, she's cool. Now, that part of me was afraid, going like, you're going to sound like an idiot going up to her and go, hey, you know what? I don't know who you are, but you seem cool. I'm pretty cool. Let's talk. And I've done that before. That's where you start to go, well, if only I had this, if only I had that, if I had this in my life, I would be so much better. And you're postponing happiness, you're postponing joy, you're postponing everything because you go, oh, no, I'm a little bit afraid. Screw that. I'm serious. Why are we doing that? Why are we doing that? That's crazy. That's absolutely crazy. We're going around this thing one time that we'll remember right now. We should not be afraid. We should be afraid and do it anyway. We should feel it like, that's gonna hurt. Do it. Do it. So what's that thing in your life right now that's dogging you, that you want to move past? We're going to make relations with your fear. And you're going to see it because it's simply the border of the reality that you have known. That's all you know. There's going to be a whole other world out here once you bust through it. Fear is so powerful, isn't it? Isn't it just almost like you can feel it? You can feel fear. Joy, yeah, fear. Grabs you. Now, if you go right to it, it has so much power, so much energy, so much hidden potential. If you go, you turn off the Real Hoarding Housewives of the Dancing Kardashians and you get outside and you live your life. You wake up, you do this, you put yourself out there. You put yourself out there. When you do that and pop that bubble of fear, boom, it comes right to you. That energy, it transfers and goes right to you. And then you go, oh, hey, I was so afraid to hula hoop outside of my living room. But every time I got in, I was, oh, God. I got a little bigger. I got a little bigger. And the bigger I got, the more fear I could handle. So let's start getting you access to that, shall we? So let's go into a meditation. Get relaxed, feel those feet on the ground. Part of why we let fear dominate us so much is because we're moving too fast. And the movement keeps us distracted. Can you turn it down a little bit? Actually, if you can turn it off. Because that sometimes can be a distraction too. Breathe in and allow the breath to travel all the way down into your body, into all of the pockets of your lungs that haven't yet received breath. Let it go down there. Let your shoulders relax. Just imagine that you've just taken the hanger that's in your clothes, that's right next to your back. You just take that hanger off and you let your clothes just droop. Let your shoulders droop. But you feel your spine nice and strong, nice and long. Your head is just gently resting onto your spinal cord. You can feel your pelvis on the chair. You can feel yourself connecting more fully to the chair and to this room. And you feel your feet starting to wake up a little bit, the bottoms of your feet, the energy centers of the bottoms of your feet start to open up and maybe tingle a little bit as you bring your energy and awareness to yourself. Breathe in and let that breath travel all the way down into your body, all the way down into your arms, into your fingertips, into your hair, into your knees, into your toes. Let the breath travel all the way through the body. Let the breath fill your body so much so that it can just spill out. You're waking up every single part of you, all of the systems, all of the cells, all of the space between the cells, simply through your intention, awareness, and thought. Send your energy deep, deep, deep into the earth. Imagine that it's going down 5 miles, 10 miles, 100 miles, 1,500 miles, down deep, 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 all the way down. That energy that is you, that energy that is your driving force, send it all the way down into the earth and let it wrap around the iron core crystal of the earth. And you can feel mine, and you can feel everyone else in this room, and you can feel everyone else who's connected to this planet, who is doing this conscious exercise. You feel connected to the earth. You feel safe and secure. You feel yourself pulling down. Allow the top of your head to reach up further and further up to the heavens, up to the cosmos, up to the sky. And you allow your energy to travel up outside of your head, outside of this room, through the dome, up into the sky. Send your energy all the way up, 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 beyond all space and time. Further, 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 until you meet the energy of creation, creator. And you feel that blending right into it, that you are it and it is you. It is your spiritual self. You feel it on a physical level, you feel it on a mental level, you feel it on an emotional level, and a feeling of joy and bliss, and you feel it on a spiritual level. And in this place of complete integration, power, harmony, oneness, you see in your mind's eye, you feel in your heart, you know in your mind that thing that you want, that feeling that you want. What is it that you want to move beyond? And as you start to see, feel, imagine, and know that that thing is right there, right outside of your grasp, let fear sit right down next to you. Put a face on it, put a name on it, put an image on it, see it. See what it looks like. See that that is simply a shadow memory. That is simply a negative thought that has crept in and found a home. Because the truth of the matter is running through your blood and bones right now, which is you are spirit, you are divine, you are unlimited. You have so much at your disposal. You have all the information you need, all the wisdom, all the healing, all the support, all the guidance, everything you need. You can surrender, you can let go. You can see that fear right next to you, let it sit right next to you, and you can just let go. Let it be there with you. It's just showing you what you haven't yet experienced. This new area of growth. Make relations with it. Be in harmony with it. Don't push it away. See, I see you. I see you. I can even see who put you there. And I can see why they put you there. And I can see that you and I are going to walk through this thing anyway. We're going to do this together. Because as soon as you move into that new reality, as soon as you move into that new vibration of the life that you want, that fear is going to change color, it's going to change face, it's going to change smell, it's going to change sound, it's going to change into something new. Fear has lots and lots of faces, some of them beautiful and some of them ugly. Just let it be right there with you. And in your place of integration, of spirit, of mind, of body, of soul, of earth, see yourself, know yourself, move into the future knowing that you have already put into place this new reality. You can start to feel it in your cells. You literally can start to feel your physical body changing into this new reality as you're letting the barrier of fear dissipate. You're releasing the energy of fighting it. You are growing as we move and breathe. And in this place of integration with your spiritual source, with your center, if there's anything that you need, any guidance that you need, any healing that you need at this moment, in your mind and your heart, ask now in the most humble way possible how you can use this sacred moment to transform yourself. Fear is your companion on your journey to bigness. Spirit is your guide. It just doesn't have to be so hard. It doesn't have to be so hard. Just use this last moment to just shake off any of that heavy, burdensome weight that you've been lugging around. Just let it off. You don't have to hold on to it anymore. We're supposed to have fun. We're supposed to live in joy. We don't need to prove how hard life is. Breathe in. Let some 3 cleansing breaths of spirit come into your body. Shaking anything off that no longer needs to be there. Second breath. shake off anything that no longer needs to be there. And third breath. Set your intention now that you're going to leave aside anything that no longer serves you and that you are going to fill it up with your own righteous awesomeness that is you with a capital Y. Breathe in. Feel your legs, feel your arms. Open up to the beauty that is this room. Let's not let it get to us. Let's just make friends with it. So that's the kind of juju you just put in there. Is there a pair of underwear up here? It's literally...
It's my sling.
Oh, okay. Thank you. I was thinking, I know we're progressive, but that feels a little awkward. Right next to my medicine pouch, draped over my medicine pouch. Thanks. No. But that's what you've just infused your sacred object with. That's what you've infused your sacred object with. So take that and let's see, what do we want to do here? We want to do the offering. And before we do the offering, I want to talk a little bit about it because it's kind of a big deal. And it's a big deal on many fronts. Because the green is energy. You guys worked for this. Each one of us had stuff we did for this. I spoke, I sold books, made hoops, did stuff for this money. You did stuff for your money. You want that energy to flow, right? You want more of it to come towards you. And not only do you want more of it to come towards you, but you want more of it to go out so you can serve, so you can give, so you can make the balance of the equation. The more abundant you are, the more abundance you will get. So really, pray with this and play with this and understand that as we start to put sacredness in every moment, we start to vibrate at a greater frequency. We start to get bigger. Okay? Because there's one thing you're like, oh no, what do I have? Okay. How much should it be? 20, 50, 100, I suppose. Whatever it is that's in there. But really feel yourself. Feel what you did with it, for it. And realize that as you are fed today, you can feed back and you can give into the system. And the more that you give into the system, the more it grows for everybody, right? So let's enjoy this song, this offering song. Just relax, take it easy, and just sort of stay in the vibe of bigness and abundance. Let's get started. Let's feel all that yummy stuff that's been running through our hands and our feet and our bodies all service long. Ooh, see, now this is good. This is good stuff, what I'm seeing here. Value, abundance, deserving, trust. You feel all that? That's where that comes from. That stuff starts to leave and permeate the area, permeate the space. When we give, when we serve. So good. Let us bless this generous offering from each and every one of you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Let that come back to you tenfold. Take that in, take that energy in of what you're going to do with that gift. How are you going to grow bigger with it? Feel it. Know that we are supporting you. We are providing you a safe haven, a sacred container for you to grow into your bigness, into your magnificence. And you are supporting that. You are helping that. You can feel yourself growing as you give and as you receive. Blessings to this offering. May we use it in its highest good. Now we're a few minutes, but I just want to open it up. Is there anybody have any questions or any comments from this service that might be percolating? Oh. Ella Bella.
Hi, Theresa. Well, I have a comment to make that, Yesterday we went to the movies. We saw Will Smith's new movie, him and his son. And the main message of that movie was about facing fear, being in the present moment and facing fear. And so I wasn't going to come this morning. I just want to lay in bed and sleep. And I thought, Theresa's talking. She'll wake me up. And guess what your message was about? Facing the fear. And so thank you for the second reminder. So I guess there's stuff I need to let go and start working on.
Thank you. And you know, if we could just feel it, like we don't have to make it so hairy. We don't have to make it so nasty. It's just like, okay, I have a fear of failure. I have a fear of judgment. I have a fear of abandonment. I have a fear of humiliation. I have a fear of, okay, there you are. Ah, tickle, 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 tickle. There you are.
I think you need to speak also to the fear of fear. When I had my first child, I kept telling myself that I wasn't really afraid I was going to die. I was afraid I was going to embarrass myself. And I almost died, but I didn't embarrass myself. And it was crazy because I was more afraid of being a coward than I was of anything else. And the fear of fear, you know, we can't be afraid. And what you said about giving yourself permission to make friends with fear, it's only as big as we let it be.
Exactly, exactly. It's right here. I mean, it can grow bigger and smaller depending on what we're dealing with, but it's always something that you have control over. You have control over. Thank you. Fear of fear is in my book, too, my next book. Other questions? Comments? Anybody had any? Yes, my dear.
You know, I think sometimes, depending on how we grew up or whatever, but it almost becomes a habit. And I think sometimes being in fear is thinking the move, you know, it's more of a comfort zone than the not. Because if we're in the knot, or at least for me, it's sometimes I'm thinking, okay, well, I'm too happy, or the shoe's gonna fall, or the other shoe's gonna fall. So I think sometimes it's actually as bizarre as it sounds, like a comfort zone.
It absolutely is. It absolutely is. And that's why that numbness, be aware of the numbness, okay? Because that can just kind of fall right into that, and you just, you know, everything just gets sort of softer. Nothing scary because you're not really living. You're watching people live. You're listening to people live. You're reading about people living. You're not living. I'm not living. Let's watch those moments.
Just one more thing, too. Brene Brown talks about joy being a precursor to fear, because when things are going good, then we start to get scared that they won't. And it's just, that's that fear of losing something, or fear of that it won't last.
Yes, 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 yes. I mean, that's a whole other thing right then and there. Is we want to hold on to it. We want to hold on to the joy moment so much because it feels so good that we don't want to let it go. And so we're afraid of that passing. You know, the hoop was a great teacher for me because I you know, there's a beginning, a middle, and an end of my hoop practice, and I keep trying to stretch it longer and longer and longer, but this old body is like, bad idea. Stick with a 30-minute practice. Because I want to keep it going, I want to keep it going, I want to keep it going, but that's not how life is. It's the roller coaster ends, right? You know how that feeling when you've gone on a roller coaster and it's like terrifying, but amazing! It's completely exhilarating, you're loving it, you're adrenaline rush, you're a little afraid, you're like, oh, this thing is old, this is like from the 70s, oh crap! There's a part of you that thinks it's gonna break your car will break. And then you pull in, and then it's all done, and it goes, and you're like, ah, I wanna do it again! If we can realize it's about just expressing it then, just feeling the joy then, the ride ends. The ride will end for each and every one of us. So let's enjoy the ride. Let's circle up.